Hello student, today we are going to study about classical theory of employment. Regarding the determination of employment in a capitalist developed economy, there are two theories, classical theory of employment and Keynesian theory of employment. Assumptions of classical theory. Assumptions of free market capitalist economy. Full employment is a normal situation in a developed capitalist economy. Third is perfect competition in product and labor market. Assumptions of laissez-faire policy. Assumptions of closed economy, constant technology, money is the only medium of exchange. Flexibility of wages, interest and price. Ninth is relation between money and real wages. 10th is equality between saving and investment. Explanation of classical theory of employment. According to classical theory of employment, full employment is a normal feature of a capitalistic economy. Full employment. It refers to a situation in which every able-bodied person who is willing to work at the prevailing rate of wages is in fact employed. In the words of Lerner, full employment is a situation in which everyone who wants to work is working except for those who are fictionally and structurally unemployed. Full employment is consistent with the following categories of employment. First is voluntary unemployment. It refers to those persons who are not willing to do work although suitable work is available for them. Such persons are not included in the labor force of the country. Despite voluntary unemployment, a country may have the state of full employment. Second is frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment is defined as unemployment caused by the time it takes for the workers to search for a job that best suits their individual skill and takes when the economy is at full employment. Third is wage unemployment. Wage unemployment is unemployment caused by wage rigidity above equilibrium level and job rationing. Fourth is seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment occurs when people are unemployed at a particular time of the year when demand for labor is lower than usual. Fifth is technical unemployment. Technical unemployment occurs when development in technology and working practices causes some workers to lose their jobs. Thus, it is evident that the state full employment inconsistent with above categories of unemployment, but there should be absence of involuntary unemployment. What is involuntary unemployment? Involuntary unemployment occurs when those who are willing to work at the going wage rate do not get work. The magnitude of unemployment is an economy refers to the magnitude of involuntary unemployment in the country. Classical theory of full employment equilibrium. This theory has been developed on the basis of thoughts of different classical and neoclassical economists regarding employment. Statement of the theory. According to classical theory of employment, full employment is a normal feature of a capitalistic economy. Philosophy of laissez-faire. Classical economists believed in the policy of non-intervention by government in economic affairs. Laissez-faire is an economic philosophy of free market capitalism that opposes government intervention. Say's law of market. Say's law implies that an increase in output will generate an equal increase in income and spending. Say's law implies that general overproduction or unemployment cannot take place. Production creates income to the factor of production. An increase in output will generate an equal increase in income and spending. Income and product will always be at full employment level. If unemployment exists, it will be voluntary. Equilibrium in the classical system or classical model of income, employment and output. The classical macro model of income and employment consists of three markets. First is labor market, second is product market, and third is money market. Labor market. In the labor market, the equilibrium employment is determined through an equality between the demand for labor and the supply of labor. In the determination of equilibrium employment, it is necessary to take into account the production, function, demand for labor and supply of labor. Product market. The product market depicts the equilibrium between saving and investment. This equilibrium also shows the equilibrium between aggregate demand and aggregate supply of goods. Third is money market. In the money market, the quantity theory of money determines the price level. According to the quantity theory of money, money supply affects the price level directly and proportionately. The quantity theory provides the following equation: MB is equal to PT is equal to PQ. Money supply, MB equals the demand for money, PQ or PT. Determination of employment and real output. The determination of labor market equilibrium is shown. Labor demand and supply curves are represented by DL and SL curves, respectively. The labor demand and supply curves intersect at point E. The point of intersection of demand and supply curves determines simultaneously the equilibrium, wage rate and full employment of labor. At point E, the equilibrium wage rate is determined at OW. At this wage rate, the demand and supply of labor are equal at OL, employment of labor. Given the short run conditions, this is the level of full employment according to the classical theory of full employment. Criticism of classical theory of employment. The classical economics prevailed until the Great Depression and had prevailed because it was never put to test by big changes in economic conditions over time. Classical theory of employment has been criticized on the following grounds. First is criticism of laissez-faire policy. Keynes criticized the classical theory for ignoring the role of the state. The state can take proper monetary and fiscal measures to increase the level of employment. Second, criticism of flexibility of wages. Flexible wage rates and prices are rarely observed in the real world. The presence of unions, minimum wage laws and price support program ensure fixed wage rates and prices. Third, saving and investment are not interest elastic. Saving and investment are not interest elastic. Saving depends on the level of disposal income and investment depends on the rate of interest and marginal efficiency of capital.